In a quiet coastal village, surrounded by blue hills and morning fog, lived a boy named Ravi. He wasn't the tallest, nor the fastest, nor the smartest among his peers. But what made life harder for him wasn't the lack of talent. It was the way he constantly measured himself against others. Ravi's neighbor, Arun, always seemed to be better. Better grades, better clothes, better compliments. Every morning, Ravi would watch Arun walk to school, laughing with friends, his backpack crisp and new, while Ravi's was worn and faded. At home, he would hear his parents say, "Why can't you be more like Arun?" It burned. At school, Ravi hesitated to raise his hand in class, fearing he wasn't as sharp. During races, he ran with half a heart, already convinced he wouldn't win. The comparison had planted a quiet poison inside him. He began to believe he wasn't enough. And so, he began to withdraw from friends, from school, from his own dreams. One evening, after another day of silence and self-doubt, Ravi wandered aimlessly toward the outskirts of the village. That's where he found the old fisherman, white-bearded, eyes like weathered stone, sitting by his small boat. The fisherman gestured for Ravi to sit. "You look like a boy who's lost his wind," he said softly. Ravi sighed. "Everyone is better than me. I try, but it never feels enough. They're faster, smarter, funnier. I just feel invisible." The old man didn't speak for a while. Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out 2 pebbles, one black, one white. He placed them on the wooden edge of the boat and said, "Come back tomorrow. I'll tell you something the sea taught me. Comment below. Maybe your silence will inspire someone else to speak." The next day, Ravi returned. The fisherman was there, as if he'd been waiting. Without a word, he placed the same 2 pebbles in Ravi's palm. "Hold them both," he said. "Now, tell me, which is heavier?" Ravi weighed them in his hands. "They're the same." "Exactly," the old man nodded. "But if I told you the white one belonged to a prince and the black one to a beggar, would it feel different?" Ravi hesitated. "Maybe." "That's the trick," said the fisherman. "Comparison adds weight where there is none. You start to feel small because you believe others are big. But truth? No 2 waves are alike, yet all of them belong to the same ocean." Ravi blinked, trying to grasp the meaning. The fisherman continued, "When you compare, you don't just dishonor yourself. You dishonor the path life has designed just for you. You were meant to be Ravi, not a copy of Arun." For the first time in weeks, Ravi felt something shift, a quiet warmth in his chest, like a lantern being lit in a dark cave. The fisherman placed the pebbles back in Ravi's hand. "These stones are like your thoughts. Carry them, but don't let them crush you." That night, Ravi stared at the stars longer than usual. He didn't feel taller, he didn't feel smarter, but he felt lighter. The next morning at school, something unexpected happened. Ravi walked into class and saw Arun raise his hand, and the teacher gently corrected his answer. A soft laugh rolled through the room. Arun turned red. Ravi watched as the boy, who always seemed perfect, stumbled. In that moment, Ravi didn't feel superior or satisfied. He simply saw it for what it was: normal, human. During lunch, a classmate asked Ravi for help with a math question, something he'd always been quiet about. Hesitantly, he explained. The classmate nodded. "Thanks, that made sense." A strange feeling rushed in. Not pride, not ego, just peace. Later that day, Ravi returned to the fisherman with a smile. Today felt different. And if this story sparks something inside you, if you feel that it's time to change, before it's too late, subscribe to this channel. These stories aren't just entertainment. They are reminders, warnings, maps, and maybe, just maybe, they'll help you hold on to that golden dust inside you. The fisherman saw Ravi's eyes glimmer with curiosity, so he leaned back and began another tale. "Years ago," he said, "there were 2 birds, one with vibrant colors and dazzling feathers, the other plain and brown. Every day, the dull bird watched the colorful one soar and sing, admired by all. Slowly, she grew ashamed of her brown wings. One morning, she tried to dye her feathers with berry juice to mimic the other, but it made her sick. The color faded quickly, and worse, her own wings became heavy, sticky, unusable. She could no longer fly. Defeated, she hid beneath a rock, weeping. Days passed. Then one day, she heard a small chick crying nearby, trapped between sharp branches. The bright bird had flown away, but the plain brown bird, with her simple, narrow body, was able to slip in and rescue it. The old man looked into Ravi's eyes. That day, she realized, her plainness was her purpose. The world didn't need two bright birds, it needed her. Ravi sat quietly, the story blooming in his chest. So you see, the old man finished, you weren't made to shine like others, you were made to shine like you. That night, Ravi didn't compare himself to Arun. He didn't scroll through pictures or replay old conversations in his head. Instead, he took a notebook and wrote down one sentence: I am not him, I am me. The next morning, he didn't walk faster to school to catch up to anyone. He walked at his own pace. When classmates spoke, he listened without judgment. When he spoke, he didn't try to impress, only to express. A week passed, then two. Something subtle had changed. He wasn't the top student. He didn't suddenly become the most popular, but his presence had a new weight to it. His words felt more certain. His laughter came more often, not louder but freer. He helped others more, not to prove worth, but because it felt good. He started staying after class to learn, not because others were ahead, but because he wanted to grow. The fisherman saw him again, weeks later. You walk differently now, he said. I think I've stopped racing, Ravi replied. And what happens? The fisherman asked. When you stop racing, you notice the view, Ravi smiled. Time passed, and though Ravi still saw Arun at school, he no longer saw him as a mirror. He saw him as just another traveler on a separate road. Sometimes that road seemed brighter, sometimes it didn't, but it didn't matter anymore, because Ravi had found his rhythm, his voice, his way, and that made all the difference. He kept the two pebbles from the fisherman in his desk drawer. Every now and then, when doubt crept in, he would take them out, feel their equal weight, and remember, no comparison, just presence. And if you've made it to the end of this story, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what have you lost by trying to be someone else? Leave your answer in the comments. Your truth might be the key someone else is searching for.